Thank you for listening to the Black Delegates Podcast. Rate, review, share.
Yo, Herb, take it from the top. 1, 2. My mic sound nice. Check 1. My mic sound nice. Check 2. My mic sound nice. Check 3. Are you ready?
Welcome to the Black Delegates Podcast. Today's date is December the 21st, 2020. We're on episode 139. Episode 139. I'm your host, the Black Ryan. I'm here with my compadres, Box Wine Poppy.
What's up?
Ghetto Phenom.
Feliz Navidad.
Yeah, we gonna start that already. How early can you say Happy New Year to people? But that's Merry Christmas, right? My bad. I don't know that Spanglish.
Well, we now know what his superpower is not acquired. He acquired today. It's not to translate languages.
As my daughter says, why they Spanishing?
Why they Spanishing?
Any foreign language, she'd be like, why they Spanishing? They Spanishing, Daddy. I don't know why she says that. She didn't get that from me.
Yes, she did.
We are here. We are back. We're happy, healthy, and all that jazz. So we are going to get right to it. This Week in Blackness. Paul, how was your week?
Well, my week started off pretty interesting. Had to go to the eye doctor this week. Phenom doesn't have these problems, because we know he's already a cyborg. Yeah, 2010 vision is what he got. But me and the lesser people like me and Ryan, we got eye problems, so we got to go see the doctor every now and then. Get some new bifocals, whatever the heck it's called.
New spectacles.
Yep. Yeah, we got to go every now and then. So you got to go do this once a year. Ryan, you don't have contacts though, do you?
I gave those contacts up years ago. Okay, it's too much of a hassle.
But you have one. Okay, so that's cool. So,
it's a big hassle, man.
Yeah, so I rock the contacts. I need to get the LASIK. I'm just scared to put a laser in my eye, but I'm gonna get that one of these days. But anyway, so I went to the doctor.
One shot at your eyeballs, son. Just one shot.
Man, the crazy part.
That's all I keep thinking.
I'm going off a tangent, but look, the crazy part with the LASIK is like, man, you'd be hearing commercials on the radio, and it'd be like $39.99 an eye. I'm like, man, I do not want for $40 an eye. I do not want you putting a laser in my eye, homie.
You walk in like the doctor from Minority Report. Dude just got snot running out his nose at a dirty house. Yeah,
no, man, I do not want that. So anyway, so I went to the eye doctor, man. And legitimately, that being in other than grocery stores, shopping stuff like that, that was the longest time I've been in any place. It took about an hour to do all the stuff. The reason I'm telling the story, so I get in there, right? So they you guys been to places since the pandemic, and they tell you like, okay, pull up, call this number, let us know you're here. We're gonna walk outside, we're gonna have you fill out these forms out in your car. We're gonna take your temperature, blah blah blah. Then we're gonna let you in, So I did all that, get through all that screening. There's like a little lobby area. I've been there before, but there's a little lobby area. They got like 3-4 people in there. And it's like an older dude, me, and there's like a cute, a cute little young girl. Nothing special, but just a cute little young girl in there. She's in there. We're all just in there waiting. We're all masked up, right? Then they start calling us up to go back to the rooms or like that. So they call me up, and so the other 2 people are still sitting there. And I go in there, and she's gonna do like the little, the little what's it called, the glaucoma test. You know what I'm talking about, Ryan, right? Where they put the little puff of air in your eye. Yeah, it feels weird, the little puff. So, but I gotta take I got my contacts in, and I brought my glasses, but I gotta take my contacts out. So I
never wear your contacts to the eye doctor when you're going. So waste of time.
Take them out. And that kind of freaked me out because like, man, I gotta take my contacts out. I gotta put my finger in my eye.
Reach up in there, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, and so the lady at first she was like, oh, well, there's some solution right there, and you can I brought my case like that. I was like, well, is there a bathroom I can go do this in? So she was like, yeah, it's just right around the corner there. So I was like, okay, go in the bathroom. Turn the lights on. Yo, man. So it was early that morning. I went up there around like 10 o'clock in the morning. Somebody in this guest bathroom had destroyed it. So destroyed. Look, it was destroyed. But I go in there. I'm like, look, I got to go up in here and take this out. So I'm over with the sink and washing my hands. But I can clearly see contacts or no contacts. There was some damage done over there in the corner. So I'm like, but I had to close the door behind me. So I'm like, man, COVID
is airborne.
This is what I want to talk about. man, have you ever been in a situation where you go in a place and it wasn't you to blow it up, but you were the last person in there, and so you just gotta take the shame. And so look, man, that's what happened to me. So I go in there, I take my contact. I'm only in there for I couldn't have been in for 30 seconds, man. It didn't take, wash my hands real good, got the contact, and I saw the damage in there. So I was like, man, let me get up out of here. Go up out of there. But I'm not going to go. At first, part of me was thinking, just go flush it. Because it would have been one good flush, it would have all been gone. But I was like, if I flush it, they're going to think it was me. I was like, I'm not touching it, right? But you be having that thought process, right? You're like, man, I'm not going to touch that. So I went up out of there, man. So the lady gives me the glaucoma test. She sends me back into the waiting room. And you can see the waiting room, you can see kind of all this going on. Then the little shorty girl goes up in there. And when she was walking over there, because she asked, is there a restroom I can use? And so she went in there, and the lady's, oh, yeah, it's right there. And I wanted to say, it wasn't me.
You should have yelled out, it wasn't me. Larry David moment right there.
Anyway, so she goes in there, and I'm still sitting there waiting for for the doctor to call back. And so she just sit down, but I just felt like she was giving me the eyeball, and so anyway, man, needless to say, I haven't been anywhere except for grocery stores in a whole year. The 1 year I go anywhere, and I get poop shamed, man. I get poop shamed, and I didn't even poop it, man. It's unbelievable what's going on here.
Everybody was looking at you crazy, like this dude right here.
I don't know, man. I hate that. We've all been in a situation at work or whatever like that, and you go in there and it wasn't you, but I'm the last dude in here. So you just hey, it's like smelt it, dealt it. You the dude that did it, and even though you didn't do it, so I had to hold that L, even though I didn't do nothing in there.
I've said it before. When I'm passing the key at work, I just be like, yo, I don't advise you to go in there. You might want to wait 5 or 10 minutes, but it wasn't me. You got to proclaim your innocence, man. Who else going to do it for you?
Man, hey, so anyway, so that was project. So that was it, man. Other than that, nothing else. I was very disappointed today to find out I did not get any superpowers. I did not acquire any superpowers, not even 1/5 of superpowers, 1/10. So I got to get on Ancestry.com and figure this thing out, man. But yeah, I'm disappointed. We're going to talk about more superpowers here in a few minutes. Ryan, I'm going to kick it over to you next. You tell us what you did for your week.
All right. This week kind of sucked, or this weekend, because Phenom, as you know, you sold me an Xbox.
Yep.
And then I bought another Xbox, and Xbox got the black screen of death. Not yours.
Oh, okay.
It was the other one. And here I am. I'm sitting there, and I'm clicking it on and off, and I'm like, all right, maybe it's my, maybe one of the kids hit the little HDMI selector, because I got one of those splitters on there since I got multiple game systems down here. I'm like, all right, let me go mess with that. That didn't work. I'm like, all right, maybe it's the cable. I tried everything. Finally realized, man, ain't no fixing it. I went upstairs, didn't work up there either. So now I'm mad because I'm like, yo, I just bought this mug within the last, it wasn't even 60 days ago. Wow. Probably not even 45.
Did you get that joint eBay?
Yes, I did. And so I'm like, dang, what am I going to do? I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, let me Google how to fix this. Let me get on the internet.
I know you blew into it first. Tell me you blew. It's just like the old Nintendo cartridges.
I did. You got to blow into the HDMI just in case. And I was like, man, it's like 1982 up in here. What are we doing? This ain't gonna work. But one of the dudes suggested it just in case. I'm like, nah, they ain't working. I tried the other things. They didn't work. I ended up going on Microsoft, and I'm like, how do you send your Xbox in for repair? And it said, put your serial number in. I clicked it. And of course, at this point, it's like a drum roll in my head.
It's stolen.
And I'm like, how long? Yeah. And did they steal it? Was this an already refurbished Xbox? And dude just fixed it and sold it, and now it's broke again. And guess what popped up? Your warranty expires on December the 23rd. Woo! I was happy. I was like, man, just made it.
Right. Mama made it.
Yep. So although it was a bummer that it's broke in the first place, I feel good because I can send it off to Microsoft. I'm in there. I'm in the system. Get it out of here. I just got to take it up to the UPS store because they still using UPS.
I say UPS is probably better because right now USPS is hot garbage. So.
Yeah, they are trash right now. It's killing my eBay game.
Man.
But and some stuff I got coming in ain't came in. But I got all the Christmas presents because they was all Amazon for the most part.
Gotcha.
But some other stuff like Thanksgiving just now showing up.
Right.
For real. Stuff I bought right after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
If it was first class meal, you ain't got it.
Yeah.
But something funny happened with the kids. They was looking over my shoulder while I was working. And one of my coworkers, Lewis, is like, something, and he wrote LOL. So I never thought about this, but Trenton leans over and he's like, Daddy, what does LOL mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, it means laugh out loud. And he was like, why would you write laugh out loud? And I was like, let me tell you something, son. Back in my day, we didn't have emojis. So if we had any kind of emotion, we had to write it out. And so therefore it was too much writing. So we ended up abbreviating it with just letters. And he's just like, what? It was like a magical story to him, man. I never really thought about that. But yeah, there's at some point, these kids, they didn't have to, they got emojis for everything. You got every kind of smile, every kind of throw up. None of that. Remember we used to hop on the Black Planet and be like ASL,
Right.
age, sex, location. None of that, man.
Oh, man,
everything
y'all
you just
dirty
click
on
your
that.
profile. You know all of that. Come on, Paul. You know you was doing it, bro.
I wasn't on there.
You never.
Never. I was
Just doing
only looking over your shoulder.
Yeah, was you on my hinte? I forgot about my hinte.
I was only looking over your shoulder, seeing what you were doing.
Okay. I mean, Black Planet, Black Voices. Shout out to both of those. But yeah, man, I got a chance to school my kids. Also realized on that same work call that my Zoom face is very angry. I was looking at myself on the Zoom and I'm like, yo, I thought, because in my mind, I feel like I'm smiling all the time. On my face, not so much. I'm looking like Gary Payton's dad on that commercial, Mr. Mean.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm mean mugging. So I don't know what to do about that. I don't know if there's any change in it, but your boy got the rest in B face, man, as they say.
That's facts, man. Every picture I've seen of you, that's the same picture. That's the same face you got in every single picture. You never smiled. I don't think through all college you smiled not once. I'm pretty sure.
Because if I smile too hard, you look goofy. Mm-hmm. So it's hard. And then people be like, oh, why are you smiling so hard? You be like, dog, I can't do nothing because I'm black. It's hard being black.
Whenever I have meetings, like Zoom meetings, sometimes I got like some big ones. Usually one of my coworkers will either text or send a message in the Zoom chat like, why you looking so mean? And it's the same way. That's just my resting face. Like,
right.
I'm not in a bad mood. I'm not. That's just what I look like. So
I think it's just the STL meme mug.
Right. I got a suggestion for you, man. You go out there, just find a picture of E40, put it on your Zoom profile. Nobody's gonna know.
Ain't nobody.
He was smiling in
E40 smile.
He was smiling in that versus this weekend. So
right.
you find some good picture of him smiling. Put it in there.
GIF of him dancing.
Put the GIF of him dancing in there,
Zoom.
and you good.
Wow. Yeah, man. I don't want to comment on E40 because from what I hear, he's pretty gangster. So. But not my cup of tea.
I heard some crazy story. Actually, I heard like a story about him the other day. I was like, man, is that true? I think you know
the Biggie story.
Yeah,
he hemmed up Biggie.
Yeah, wow, if that's true.
All of Oakland hemmed up Biggie because Biggie said he was trash. Like that's crazy. And it was just like, yeah, E40 called and was like, yeah, let him go. So it was cool.
Yeah, crazy story.
Right. But other than that, watch the movie Tenet. I know y'all haven't seen it.
Nah, I need to see that.
I went ahead and bought it because, how I go, $19.99. You go ahead, you can see it. I figured I was going to try to go to the theater and see it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a long movie, man. A long movie. That mug might be like 3 hours.
That's about what Inception was. Inception was probably like 2.5, 3 hours.
Yeah. And it's about there, man. And I also realized while I was watching it, because it's one of those movies, because it's kind of time travel. So I'm with that. But man, at first I was just like, I don't understand what's going on. This is the first movie I'm gonna have to watch again because I'm gonna see, did I just miss stuff? I mean, clearly I did, because at the end it all made sense. But while it was happening, I was kind of like, what are they doing? Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't understand how people even moving through this universe.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty dope, man. It might be the most complex time travel movie I've ever seen in my life. And that's hard to do. So y'all check that out when you get
the black dude that was a star. You liked him?
Oh yeah, I'm a fan for that dude from Ballers. because
Yeah, I've seen his face.
he was just dope at being a wide receiver trying to get paid. So
And this is Christopher Nolan, right?
Denzel's son.
That's his son. Okay. And this is Christopher Nolan directed or wrote it, right? Wrote and directed?
Yes.
Man,
and so I also realized that I need to give Christopher Nolan more flowers because the dude's made every movie that I think is like the best movie ever.
Have you ever seen Memento? Have you ever seen that?
Yes.
It's a classic. Like what you're talking about, like where I had to like rewind it a couple times and like start from the beginning just to understand it. Like that was one of them, man. I remember that was like one of his early ones, right. Memento. Yeah, that was pretty wild. And there wasn't nobody really famous in that one actually, but it was kind of dope. Phenom, you seen it?
Phenom, you seen Memento?
Yeah, I've seen it. It's been a while, but yeah.
Yeah, I saw it when I was young. So I'm gonna have to look at it again as an adult. Yeah, but I didn't realize I usually don't give directors credit because I feel like, I appreciate what you're doing, but it's not your story. You're not the writer. Like I'm the one that want to find a writer and get him the credit for it. But this dude doing all of it. So
I think I'm not, don't quote me, but I think either he writes them or like his brother or they like tag team. I think him and his brother write a lot of the movies. Now I don't come on every single one. I can't talk about Tenet. But I remember reading something before, like him and his brother, they tag team writing and then he only directs it or something like that. Or it's something like that. His brother's a writer.
Hey, he said he was, I watched some interviews after. If I watch a movie and it makes me want to go find a interview with you talking about it, like it was a good movie, man. So, he talked about some of the things in Memento that made it to this movie, and that's why he made it. So it's always been sitting there. He just said it's just been in his head for like 10, 15 years.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. His brother wrote Memento, whatever the book Memento is based on, and he co-wrote The Prestige, The Dark Knight Rises, Interstellar. And
Prestige, fire, Interstellar, fire.
He's a co-creator of Westworld. So this is the dude. This is
come on, man, Westworld, fire. Okay, all that stuff is like my favorite stuff.
So there you go. And so, but yeah, it's not just him by himself. It's like a whole family thing. But they be having dope stuff though, for real.
Yeah. So shout out to anybody who could find another person to create with, because that's hard to do. All right. So that was my week. Phenom, how was your week?
My week was solid. My week kind of started off a little bit like Box Wine Poppies. So he talked about going to the eye doctor, which I do go to the eye doctor every once in a while. I actually do have like a glasses prescription, but I pretty much wear them about 4 times a year. Don't really need them to see, but they do help clear. But anyway, today I had a dentist appointment. And so I was kind of on the fence on whether I was going to keep the appointment or not, because of course, COVID, we're in the pandemic. And my pops actually he was having some, tooth pain a while back, and he went to the dentist and, got it taken care of. And then the dentist office called him back and was like, hey, remember you were in the office a couple days ago? Well, one of our people got COVID, so you probably should get tested. And so luckily, he got tested. It came back negative. He didn't contract it. But that was in my mind whenever they called, with the little reminder, like, oh, you got an appointment coming up. So I was like,
Press 2, fam.
Right. I was debating, and I was like, they actually text. They didn't even call. They hit me with the text. And I didn't initially respond. I was like, am I going to go, or do I just want to like skip this? Because I go to the dentist like every 6 months. And so I was like, well, maybe if I just skip this one, by the time the next one rolls around, if I schedule that for 6 months away, by then the vaccine will be out, things will be a little better. And so I was telling my wife, and she's like, no, you should go. It's, essentially a medical appointment. They're going to take the precautions. So I was like, all right. So I went to do that. Hopefully I don't have COVID in the next 3 to 14 days.
Because that was definitely avoidable.
It was cool. It was just weird because really, and I was telling my dentist, I was like, this is weird because that was, I think, the second time I had been around somebody other than my wife without a mask on. And the other time was like at a doctor's appointment, and I just had to take it off, temporarily.
Right.
And so it's like, that's the first time since it started. And I was, once I got in there and got settled, I didn't have my mask on like the whole time where he was actually cleaning my teeth. So it was just a little weird.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, I wanted to talk about, or actually I wanted to give Boxwine Poppy a little avenue to vent, because we're recording. We kind of moved our recording days to Sundays generally. We're back recording on a Monday because yesterday was the fantasy basketball draft.
Oh, that's right. Forgot
The
about
Black Ryan has been in the game forever. You know, we got our little league. Most of the guys come back. Boxwine Poppy's kind of been out for a minute. Used to play, I think, fantasy football with us, but
Yeah.
finally got you back in on the fantasy basketball.
Mhm.
And it seemed like you had a little smoke. You had a little beef with the draft, man. So I wanted to let you
Because it's
air that out.
rigged. It's all rigged, man. I'm like Donald Trump on this, man. Y'all cheated me. This is BS. You cheated a whole bunch of people, man. I'm having LeBron James, and the next thing I know, I get stuck with Kevin Durant. What's up with that, man?
Stuck with.
All right. Hey.
I mean, but he's coming off a
upgrade.
major injury, man. That's not who I want. Y'all changed it for the better for y'all, and then threw me all off. And I was like, that just whole trash.
It was not y'all.
So look,
it was Phenom only.
But then whoever took the dude that took my dude that made somebody else take the guy I had, that's what threw it all off, man. For me.
Once he took Harden, no, he had to.
And then I was never right after that, man. After that, it was all downhill.
Yeah. If I would have, so what happened for the listeners is, well, I'm the commissioner, first of all, but I had the 4th pick. And after the 3rd pick, like, I don't know, did Giannis go 2nd or 3rd?
He went 3rd because Minister Russell took AD because he was like, who should I take? And I was like, yo, that's up to you. I was like, I'm not going to tell you nothing. And he's like, oh, you know who I'm taking. We already had this conversation. And I was like, yeah, I've changed my mind on AD. But, yep, that's what he did.
Yeah, that was weird. So when Giannis didn't go 1st and didn't go 2nd, I think maybe Luka went 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, whoa. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, is Giannis going to be here for my pick? So I put Giannis in my queue. And then Giannis went 3rd. And so, got the little message, whatever. Oh, was looking at him too. He had his eye on him too or whatever. So then I was like, okay. I was like, he took Giannis. So I was like, I'm going to get Harden. Because I think last year I could have got Harden. And I was like, no, because I had Harden the previous year. So I was like, I'm going to get Steph Curry because I just had Harden. He's good, but, and then Steph got hurt, missed almost the whole year. So I was like, I'm getting Harden. And all of a sudden, it was like the next pick. It was like, and it didn't time out because we had a minute. But it just picked Jokic. And I'm like, dude, I didn't click on nothing. I didn't have him in my queue. Like, Jokic was just on my team. So I was like, what's going on? We've always had a smooth draft in this league, so I didn't know how to stop it or pause it. But at that point, like, y'all, all them other picks wouldn't even have been had. The only reason you made that pick, Paul, was because it took me like 2 minutes to figure out how the heck to pause the draft.
Don't try to explain it away now, man. Look, man, the Grizzlies drafted Hasheem Thabit. Nobody got no do-overs, man. So you stuck with the homie. You gotta live with it, man. But you sit there and rolled it back. What kind of David Stern all type thing is going on here, man? This is the fix is in, man. Come on.
Hey, I didn't want something bad to happen that early, and it's fixable. Everybody knew that he was like, no, I didn't want to take him.
Yeah,
and I'm fine with it
immediately. Man. I was like, whoa, what happened?
Yeah. So may as well just, instead of him talking about it for the next 20 rounds, just go ahead, stop it, pause it, go back.
So instead, I get to talk about it for the next 3 months, and that's it.
Hey, yeah, I asked if there were any objections. No, they said nothing. Silent. People was like, go ahead. I was like, all right. So that was fun though, to do that draft. I think I got a decent squad. So, we'll see how that plays out.
I'm just glad there'll be basketball back.
Yeah. So we'll update y'all. We'll be talking a little bit of trash each week, I'm sure, especially when we had those head-to-head matchups. But last thing I want to talk about, and again, I know Boxwine Poppy probably wants to get into this a little bit. This, I don't know what to call it, but this quote unquote stimulus package that is about to be passed or has been passed, or at least has been agreed to. Just looking at that, I'm like, dude, how janky is our government trying to give us $600 and stimulus money. Like, that is just, I don't know. That's so whack to me that y'all going, we got what, 1,200, around May or something like that, April, May, when that started to go out last year.
Mm-hmm.
Hadn't got a cent. Most of the people hadn't got a cent unless you were unemployed, which, it was good they had the unemployment benefits. But $600, what do y'all think about that? Is that sufficient, or do y'all think that's kind of janky?
Man, I ain't complaining about free money at any point in time. I mean, I've always said my issue with it is where in the heck we get $900 billion from. I said that the first time. Where did we get $1.5 trillion or whatever we spent the first time? And I still want to know where we're getting it from and where are we going to get it from. Now, the only issue is, although I'm going to cash the check and I'm going to accept the direct deposit, I feel like the people that should get it are the people that are unemployed. That's it. Nobody else should be getting it.
Thoughts on Pops?
I mean, yeah, I think it's a little disappointing. I think the big thing that's making us think it's substandard is because they gave us 1,200 to begin with, and then obviously this is half. And I think if some people, we don't have to get into politics, but the homie, what's his name? Not the homie. Hawley, is that his name, from Missouri?
Josh Hawley. Yep.
He was pushing for the 1,200. Even he was pushing for the 1,200. He's a hardcore Republican, right?
Oh yeah, he's far right.
But it made it, it made it seem off because we got used to 1,200, and even that was probably substandard from what we need. Not saying everybody. I'm like Ryan. Like, not everybody should get it. We should be helping more the people that really need it. But they should do something, man, where it's like, man, if you work at a restaurant, if you're a frontline worker, man, if you're a nurse, if you're a nurse, like, man, if you're a nurse and you've been working this whole time, you shouldn't have to pay tax. Like, my mom should not have to pay taxes, man, at all this year, because they've been working. My mom's sitting there like pumping people's chests for hours on end, night after night after night, man, and she is so sick of it, man, and it's just never ending, man. And the money that they paying her, whatever, and she's got good time and a half or whatever, some of that stuff, but man, they should just say no taxes, man. They should do more things, more targeted type things. I know they're trying to keep everybody happy, but $600, it ain't it, man. I know that for a family of four, I guess that's in theory $2,400, man. But the part that bothers me is people gonna a lot of that money for people that's struggling, it's just going right back to landlords and stuff like that, and so it's not really going. Right. It's not really going to anything, like people that really need it. It ain't going to like savings. Whereas like if I get anything, not to say I am, but if I do get anything, like I'm just going to save it. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm not even going to spend it on no Xbox or nothing like that stupid.
It's your fault.
But it's at least
what you talking about? I'm not going to spend it. I'm going to save it. That's your fault.
I'm not
spend it.
I mean, eventually it will
stimulate, brother. Stimulate.
At some point, it will get stimulated out there in the economy. I'm not.
Oh, he gonna give it up on the OnlyFans. That's where he's stimulating.
Hey, we'll get into that in a couple of topics. But yeah, for sure. I'd rather go there though, man, than go to Chase or Citibank or something like that to pay off somebody's credit card bill, which is 85% of it's going to go, and that just ticks me off. What do you think, Fernando? You think it's enough?
Well, look at this. I think you're both wrong, of course.
Always.
And I'm going to
imagine that you're right, we're wrong.
I'm going to tell you why you're wrong. No, the reason why most people think that this $600 is paltry is because it is. I mean, when you look at the U.S. compared to other countries, and we do this also like in stuff like healthcare, like every other industrialized country has some form of universal health care, and they're all able to pay for it. When it comes to the U.S., we're like, oh, it costs too much. There's no way that we could possibly pay for it. It's not true. When you look at other countries, Australia, their stimulus fund for Australian people, almost $2,000 a month, $1,993 a month. Canada, it's almost it's $1,433 a month. Denmark up to $3,200, almost $3,300. France up to $7,500. Germany $7,300, etc., etc. Some of these countries are given like 90% of the salary, 80% of the salary. And this is per month.
But Phenom, guess how much they're paying in taxes? Paying a lot of taxes. That's what the Republicans say. They're paying a lot of taxes.
They may pay some taxes, but they're getting back. Like, we pay taxes too. The money is there. It's not an issue of the money is there. Is the government going to give the money back to us? But no, right. The government wants to give the money to businesses. Businesses, dude, when you look at the stock market, when you look at the profits that a lot of these companies are making because everybody's at home, everybody's buying from Amazon, from Target, from Walmart, like, they making profits hand over fist. Why are we giving those companies money when the people are the ones who are struggling? You know what I'm saying? So just the fact, it's just crazy to me that Canada or one of these other countries can give $1,800 a month, per month. And we got $1,200 once. We about to get $600 again. Now, luckily for us three, we've kind of, been blessed and we've been able to maintain and stay employed, and like, we cool. Like, honestly, if the 600 didn't come, I'm going to still be all right. Yeah, you gonna still be all right. But I just think the fact that we're in a global pandemic and that, I mean, they haggle for this. And again, money still went to businesses. It's not like businesses did not get sizable funding. Why wouldn't you just get that directly to the people? Because the people are the ones who are really struggling.
Yeah.
I agree, man.
It's messed up, but I'm definitely gonna take that money and invest it.
Right. So that's my soapbox on that. So let's get into the actual topics now.
Fine.
All right. Don't act like you don't enjoy the talking portion of the show.
I do.
Oh,
I do.
I know you love it, but you always be rushing through like, that's the best part of the show. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows it. All right. So we all know what happened today. If you didn't know, December the 21st was what? What was it? It's the day that all black people got superpowers.
Negro Solstice.
Yes. Did they say it was Negro Solstice? I don't know. But okay, that's
Black
cool.
Power Day, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So in honor of that, I want to play a little music from Meteor Man. Underrated, but I enjoyed Meteor Man as a kid. Stupid, but an underrated costume as well. Somebody need to rock the gray and green. But
you should have played the handyman. I
was going to, but I did want to look it up, and I was like, that had to be goofy. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to play it. So I didn't even bother to look it up. Mm-hmm. But yes, today, Negro Solstice. Paul, you wanted to talk about this. I did find an article for you, so I saved you again. So we could put this up, where this came from, how this came about. Apparently, it was just some woke chick on the internet, and she was just like, yo, we're going to all... it's going to be a great day, blah, blah, blah. And somebody said, yeah, we're going to all get superpowers. And that's where it started.
That's right. That's where it started at. And I just want, it's been going on for about 3-4 weeks now. I've been seeing on the TL, people just talking about black people getting superpowers on 21st and, a bunch of funny memes, a bunch of hilarious stuff. I don't think I sent y'all any of it, but I figured y'all had seen it. But Ryan, you were not aware of this, right?
I was staying away from it because I saw you were going to talk about it on the pod. Sometimes I want to have that authentic reaction.
And Phenom, were you aware of this?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I definitely was aware. I saw all the internet, well, not all of them, but, I saw the internet memes and jokes and all of that going on. Now, I'm surprised at the Black Ryan because you kind of are the resident sort of Space Force aspirer of the podcast.
Space Force aspirer.
So the fact that, I guess the thought behind this, where she initially got it, is because today is the day when Jupiter and Saturn are aligned, and they're the closest to the Earth that they've been for like several hundred years. So that was kind of where it all started. It's like, okay, Jupiter and Saturn are going to be really close to the Earth, so something weird is going to happen. And it kind of flailed from there. So I'm just surprised, Ryan, you're the spaceman on the pod. You ain't
nerd man, yeah.
On Jupiter and Saturn.
Come on, man. That kind of astrology stuff, I'm not with that. And that's not going to do anything.
Okay, but
it's never accomplished anything.
Just like you hope that black people will be immune to COVID when it first came out, you would hope that you would wake up this morning and have a superpower. Did you think about what kind of superpower you would like to have? You could have one. What would the black delegates like?
First off, I would like to mention that I told my son about this.
Mm-hmm.
So keep in mind, Trenton is 7. And I was just like, yo, today was the day that black people get superpowers. And he's like, what? And he's just like, his eyes opened up so wide and he hopped up and he's like, we get superpowers today. And I was like, yeah, what superpower you gonna get? He's like, I want super speed. And I was like, all right. And he's like, wait a minute. Are we really gonna get superpowers? Like, nah, bro, we're not. I was just curious. I was like, it was just a joke on the internet.
Just crush your dreams.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I said maybe superpower some other way.
Slow as hell. I'm sorry.
It won't be today. He's 7, man. You got to have some imagination.
Mm-hmm.
But if I were to have a superpower, I would take teleportation.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that's the most convenient. I ain't finna be running nowhere. I don't care how fast I am. Stupid. And a fat dude that's fast is ridiculous. I don't want to fly because I'd be scared of heights. But if I could teleport, and if y'all have nobody seen the movie Jumper, no matter how many times I asked, that movie is fire. I don't care what nobody say. It's a good movie. No, it's not. You thinking about
Looper.
Looper,
Yeah,
yes.
sorry.
But that is a good movie too. But Jumper with I always get his name wrong. Is it Hayden Christensen? The dude that played Anakin Skywalker in Star Wars.
Nobody knows who that is, except for the white people and you.
Everybody knows who that is.
Okay.
But yeah, that dude, he was in it, and it's a dope movie. And I read the book too, and even better book because the book was totally different from the movie.
Okay, so hold on. Before we go to Phenoms.
Yes, teleportation.
Okay, so you got teleportation. Give me a scenario. What is the optimal scenario in which you would like to teleport? Like, what would you like to get out of, or teleport into, or teleport out of using that superpower?
Do you know how much time I would save? Period. Time is our greatest commodity. What if I could teleport myself to see my family? Teleport myself to work every day.
Teleport
home.
Boring ass work meeting.
Anything I could do. Yeah, man. It doesn't matter. I would be just like dude was doing in Jumper. I would, in order to sit down in my seat, I would teleport to the chair.
I would definitely teleport to that bathroom when I went in the eye doctor, man. Definitely. Just poof, just out of here. Where'd he go to?
Dude had rooms. He had rooms in his house that didn't have doors because he didn't need them. Just teleport in there. He knows what's in there.
I'm with you. I'm fine with you. What do you got, man? You got a superpower. We know you already have, the exoskeleton. You got the adamantium, blah 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 claws. we know you can just
adamantium.
When you think it, you just grow to 7'5". You can already dunk on everybody. Tell us what superpower would the Phenom acquire if he could?
That's a good one. Let's see. I might get the I don't know what you call it. Like when you could just walk through walls and stuff, not even teleport, but
you can phase through stuff. Okay.
Yeah, I just go through whatever I want to go through. So, I'll also, of course, if a bullet or something, somebody try to shoot me, somebody try to bust shots, that's going to go through me. But I just, I want something of convenience. I don't want to have to knock on the door. I don't want to have to use a key or even get an app and open a smart lock. No, let me just walk through the door. Let me walk through the wall. Let me see what's going on.
Gotcha. And so give me a situation. Where would you like to use the superpower?
Like I said, man, mine is born out of convenience. I would just get in a car in the morning without having to open the door. Just open the door and be sitting down. Easy breezy.
Gotcha.
Or if I had to go, y'all know, I always talk about being a no limit stand. I might have to go break C Murder out of jail. I might just walk through the jail and free C Murder. And then
but everybody can see you. You won't be invisible. Your face will still be on the camera. You'll still go to jail. They can't hold you.
No,
but
it's COVID. I wear a mask, bro. What are you talking about?
God.
And then we talked about our music, talked about some of our bars. Once I free C Murder, that means Master P is obligated to put me on the next No Limit album. Then I'm going to have a verse on the No Limit album also. I might get my own No Limit album.
Look at Phenom trying to get on a record label that ain't been hot in 25 years,
Right.
thinking he's gonna pop.
They might sign you right now if you try it.
Oh man.
What about you, Box Wine? I know you got something creepy to do with your powers. You like the Invisible Man. The Invisible Man on The Boys too, where you just in the bathroom pleasuring yourself or something weird.
Okay, let's pause on that one. Let's retract. Look, edit point 40 minutes and 35 seconds in.
I ain't taking it out. It's staying in.
Look, no, anything I say, y'all gonna deem it as creepy. But look, this is what I want. I want the power of what's the blue chick from the X-Men, Mystique, where she can change
into people.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. Because that would be some wild stuff where you could just turn into another person and then just assume their voice and all that stuff like that, and then you could just annoy the hell out of them. That's probably what I would use it for. It wouldn't be for anything good or bad. It would just be annoying.
Paul's gonna have an OnlyFans for every chick that he could think of.
Why do I need an OnlyFans? I can morph into myself. Why do I need an OnlyFans? I'm good to go.
Because you're gonna try to make the money off the OnlyFans, and you're gonna get off on it anyway.
Okay, so again, edit point right here. Y'all making it too weird. Yeah, that's what I want.
The real reason we know what it is. I mean, it's obvious that you want to be me, and so because you can't, then you just want to turn into me, so that you can get as close as you can possibly get.
I can dunk. It is weird, but the trade-off. I can dunk. Yes, I can still dunk at age 40, but that's like 3 times hairier than I already am. That's not. I don't know. I don't know if I want ready for that trade-off.
Might not be worth it, and you definitely gonna lose some hair on your head.
Yeah, my credit score go like an extra 50 points lower, man.
Hey, that thing probably only drop about 4 points, bro. That's it.
I'm just messing, man. But yeah, man. No, I think Mystique, she got a cool one, man. But Ryan, related to this, what is the wild, not the one you'd want, but what is the craziest superpower? Because you follow this stuff, you read all the books and stuff like that. What is the
you read all the superpower books?
Oh, he studied this. He can do a dissertation on superpowers. That's for sure. Come on.
I think the weirdest one that everybody would know about is the Blob. Remember the fat dude from X-Men, the Blob? Literally, nobody could really stop him. Nothing could penetrate him. Pause. But there was a time where they removed his power and he was no longer fat. It just made his skin hang off of him. He had bariatric surgery or something. Mm-hmm. So it was pretty weird. But having a power that makes you hella fat is pretty weird.
Gotcha. Okay, the Blob. I have to look that one up, man. So yeah, but a superpower that we never heard of. I'll have to look into that one. Okay, man. So yeah,
you never played the X-Men arcade game? The Blob was on there.
No, I don't think so, man. If not, I probably didn't make it past level 1, so no, I didn't see him.
I'm trying to figure out what you have actually done in your life.
That's a good question. Sometimes I wonder myself.
The Ant-Man, it was pretty whack. That's a pretty whack superpower.
Well, I mean, he gets small, but he keeps his own strength. So that's kind of.
He also gets he has it's he can compel the entire insect universe.
Yeah.
To his
comes in handy.
Oh yeah, man. So man, just imagine you laying there on the ground, out in the grass, and then a billion fire ants just come up on you, man. I think that'd be annoying. At least that'd be pretty bad.
If there was a superpower draft, Ant-Man, that's going last, bro. That's going to be the irrelevant. Now, you may be able to do something with it, but don't nobody want to be Ant-Man.
But does that count as a superpower, Ryan? I need a different. Does that Ant-Man's, because that's technology, right?
Ant-Man has, it is technology.
So does that count?
He's got the helmet.
So that
no, not really.
We're getting too nerdy here.
Yeah, not really.
So Iron Man doesn't count, right? Iron Man, you do not consider a superhero.
No, it's not a superpower.
Gotcha. So that shuts all that down. I mean, so
just a billionaire with a suit. If you got money, you can always be a superhero if you want to, but none of them do.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. That was
Moving
cool.
on.
So y'all can think about what kind of powers y'all want to have. We do need that. Next. So I know y'all remember hearing about deep fakes. Do you remember we talked about deep fakes, where this is a software program where you can basically take the face of anyone that you want, kind of change it and manipulate it to where you can make them do whatever you want them to do or say whatever you want them to say, because you can move their mouth, et cetera, et cetera. Now, with this deepfake technology coming out and being more readily available, it is now starting to become a thing where people can manipulate audio as well. So I was listening to NPR in my morning news rundown, and they were talking about some deep fakes that they had, and they played the homie Jehovah, and it was just like Jay-Z rapping a William Shakespeare poem. And it sounded exactly like him, inflections and all. And they just kept putting different things in there saying that Jay-Z was saying it. And of course, Jay-Z filed a cease and desist because they said they put it up on YouTube. And the question came up as to whether or not people own their own audio likeness. So basically, if people wanted to, they have enough of us talking on this podcast that they can throw it into a deep fake and have Paul saying all kind of crazy stuff. Problem is that Paul says that stuff anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So nobody's going to say anything. And I was just wondering, I thought it was a good topic. What if you just were able to take somebody's audio likeness, create it, because it is an art to it. You would have to digitize it some kind of way, but you can just make it be anything that anybody you want it. So companies would no longer have to pay artists because they can just make somebody kind of sound like them. Like that's going to come up in the court in the not too distant future. And do people control their own audio likenesses? So I was just curious what y'all thought about that. How crazy is that? And do you think that legally they would have anything to try to fight somebody doing that? Phenom?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely an interesting idea or just an interesting sort of development. And this is something that I think I listened to something on The Daily. I mean, it's been a while, it may have been a year ago, talking about it. And they were basically saying like, this day is coming because the technology is just improving so much faster that the sample they had then was pretty rough around the edges, but they were just saying it's only a matter of time before they get this smoothed out and it sounds just like it. And it's going to make it difficult because, you know, we're kind of in this predicament where, you know, we try to catch everybody. We try to cancel folks. We try to get them, right. Gotcha. And we try to find something salacious that they've said or something controversial that they've done. And now this is going to blur those lines a lot because you just don't know what to trust. Like you don't know what to trust. We're already in this fake news sort of society. So it's going to be interesting, I think, in terms of, you know, like, what do we own? Do we own our own I guess not likeness, but vocal likeness, or I don't know. It just depends. You know, I talked about how kind of shady some things are in this country, and I can see how pro corporation that the Supreme Court is probably going to be, and it's probably going to side with these companies. It's probably going, I could see them just granting big corporations a pass to do whatever they want with people's likenesses. But I don't think it's right. I think, you know, if you're using my voice, if you're using things that I said to create new stuff, like that's not cool. That's not kosher. So if you're going to do that, you need to pay me for it, and you need to get my permission.
Box wine. So now you can say, hey, it wasn't really me. Like, I didn't say those things on her OnlyFans.
Exactly.
That was a deep fake. And so to get you out of a lot of trouble.
As a person that has literally taken Phenom's quote about giving props to Trump and putting that on a soundboard, I definitely agree that, you know, we should be able to do that as often as we like with no impunity. So that's my view on that. But no, man, I'm seriously, yeah, man, all this is going to get shot down, man. I mean, like, look, you can look at all the, you know, just look at all the major music cases we've heard about. You know, you can talk about the Marvin Gaye and Robin Thicke, T.I. and Pharrell lawsuit a couple years ago, man. You know, where they were saying, like, you know, I forget the name of the Marvin Gaye song, but, you know, the Robin Thicke, that big song that he had, you know, that was definitely a ripoff of it. And so, you know, sound alikes, things like that, they definitely will sue you, and you're going to lose your royalties. So people going to push the edge. I mean, somebody's got a distinctive voice, like, say, DMX or, you know, like Snoop. I mean, you're gonna have people that, you know, make songs that kind of sound like that a little bit or something like that, and, you know, maybe it's blurring the line. But It'll all be settled in court over time, I'm sure. And yeah, they're going to say you can't really do that, or if you're trying to pass it off as that person, that's where the real trick is, right?
Yeah, I mean,
technically, you wouldn't have to say if you never say it. Like you're not like, oh, this was Barack Obama.
But if you're getting views off, oh, this dude, this is DMX. I think that's where the problem. I mean, you can't remember when Shine came out. We talked about Shine on here before, but yeah, remember that was the big thing. Like, oh, he sounds just like Biggie, which I didn't really.
Not exactly,
but
that's what people said.
Yes, people said that. Oh, he sounds just like Biggie.
See, Murder sound like Tupac if you ask people.
Well,
see, Murder rap like Tupac. Stop it.
Well, I think when it comes to commercialization or trying to pass people off, that probably will. Even though I said corporations are going to get breaks, which they will, but that'll probably be litigated properly in the courts. The bigger threat, I think, from deepfakes is, I mean, we just came out of election season, right? The biggest thing is going to be as we get close to elections, 2 days before, all of a sudden you're going to have candidate X, you'll have Joe Biden, talking about what some girl need to do, and they're going to drop that right before the election. It's going to sound just like them. They're getting to the point with the video where they can, manipulate the mouth to look just like it. And they're going to have a video that looks 100% real, and our voters going to be able to tell. I think those are the type of things like elections or dealing with corporations. Maybe Boxwan Poppy is named the CEO of this company, Coca-Cola, and somebody doesn't like him. They drop the deep fake. Is that going to get him pushed out? I think it's going to be more disruptive to society than it is for people trying to make coins off of it.
I don't know how you can get in front of it though, and that's kind of the problem. Because you did getting into digital issues, like the Senate clearly didn't understand what Facebook is. Can you imagine talking to them about modulation of voices and having experts in on audio and all that kind of stuff? They have no idea, none whatsoever. Like it's going to be a huge problem, man. I mean, we've gotten to the point where, Photoshop is getting so widely available and people are so good at it that we question anything that we see. Is that real? Is that Photoshop? But it's still something there, and you can look at it and say, okay, it's artifacts. But once you get to audio, man, like, I don't know. I don't know how I guess we'll figure out a way to do it, but you can't unhear something. And once you hear it, it's probably stuck in your subliminal for a long time, and it can cause damage down the line, regardless if you believe it or not.
Yep, it's just a matter of what people believe. It don't matter if it's true. It don't matter if you can prove it. If people believe it, and again, we see that with this election crap. People talking about, oh, this is a rigged, it's fake, yada yada. That is easily the biggest lie, the biggest sham in the world, easily disprovable. But it's been repeated so many times and by enough people that a lot of people believe it.
Yep.
And a side note, I won't go into this, but I thought it was interesting. Did y'all see where Newsmax and OWN and those and Fox News have sort of retracted their statements about these
they don't want to get sued.
Voting machines and election companies because they're about to get sued out of their behinds.
Yeah. Well, they distanced themselves and said like, oh, we never, presented that as fact or like that. But like Fox did like a pre-prepared like 2-minute video and they put it on like all their different shows that kind of like were hammering that about, for weeks on end, days, night after night after night, are talking about how it's rigged, all that stuff like that. Then they put on this one little 2-minute video. I don't really know how that gets them out of it. Like how they can say, I mean, the damage is done. You know what I'm saying? You can't really put that cat back in the bags.
I mean, at this point, they're trying to mitigate the damages. They're gonna lose that. They're gonna lose those lawsuits. But it's just how much are you gonna have to pay?
Yeah.
So, and I'm glad that companies, and I think that'll be relevant to what we're talking about here with the deep fakes. Like, it's really gonna take for somebody to get sued and have to pay like multi-billion-dollar, $50 billion settlement, $10 billion settlement, to start discouraging people from doing that. Like you gotta make that penalty so severe And we see that in these type of like libel cases, and it doesn't happen often. It might be every 10 years, every 20 years, but somebody gets fed up. They hit them with a big lawsuit. It's like a huge judgment, and then people kind of, oh yeah, all right, we getting a little too crazy, a little too loose. So I'm glad that time has come, because like the lying and stuff is just stupid right now.
Word.
Yeah. All right. Good discussion. I was just curious what y'all thought. All right. And Phenom, we're going to go to you. I know you talked about this. You talked quite a bit there, but no rest for the weary. We want you to talk about the true GOAT. Which one, Jerry Rice or Randy Moss? This topic came up online, and so I'm going to kick it to you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll be brief with this. You know that I think it really kind of hit social media because Randy Moss, I think he was asked for his top 10 wide receivers. I don't even know if he was asked or he just volunteered it, but he put himself as number one, the greatest receiver of all times. He said T.O., Terrell Owens, was number 2, and he said Jerry Rice was number 3. And he made a comment. I'm trying to see if I can find the exact wording. Now, I'll paraphrase, but he made a comment of the sort where he's like, I'm not talking about just numbers. I'm talking about like put fear in the defense, cut through a defense, game plan. You had to double, triple team a receiver. He's like, I'm just talking about like the best receiver. And so he said he was number 1. So I wanted to know what y'all thought. We're all around the same age. We saw Jerry Rice play, although we may have been younger. We saw Randy Moss. So, Ryan, I think you probably got pretty strong feelings on this. Who is the GOAT wide receiver? Is it Moss or is it Jerry Rice?
Man, it's a tough one, man. And I actually don't have strong feelings on this because I don't know. It's one of those things where we all know the great Jerry Rice could do it all. He did everything, but T.O. is my dude. Always has been. I've never thought he was better than Randy Moss, though. I would rather have him on my team, but do I think he's better than Randy Moss? No. So that would move him down to 3, regardless on my list. Man, I got a friend of mine from the church who he is a big Randy Moss fan. He's always said Randy Moss was the GOAT, and his argument was always like, yeah, Jerry Rice has more receptions and all that, but he was like, Randy Moss didn't have to get a bunch of receptions. That dude to have 2 for 150. Like, because he just blow the top off your defense. And he's like, he's like, who else immediately starts their route, and the second step they throw their hand up and you already know you got a deep ball, throw it to him. And so I don't know, man. I understand what he's saying. I saw the dude play. He was unstoppable. He didn't even go hard all the time, which is another reason why I don't want to vote for him as a GOAT. But Jerry Rice is another type of animal, man. So I might have to put him as a Jordan type GOAT, where it doesn't matter. Like I'm not gonna put anybody over him.
Yeah.
Box wine.
I mean, for me, man, I hate to say it, but I'm gonna have to say, I mean, this is an interesting one. It kind of gets into the GOAT, but like Randy Moss for me is like, if you were to build a wide receiver in a lab and say like, or X-Man and say, who's going to play wide receiver? It'd be Randy Moss. I mean, he's got the size, the speed, everything. I mean, so like if I need one game, I need one wide receiver to catch one pass, some kind of deep bomb or something like that. Give me Randy Moss any day of the week, man. That's no question. Just what I saw. And just how he was just killing people. I mean, like, man, I'm like, Ryan, you're talking about that. I remember there was a game against the Cowboys. It might have been on Thanksgiving, man. That dude had like 3 catches for like 163 yards and 3 touchdowns. Right. And it was like he had like an 80-yarder, a 60-yarder, and a 70-yarder. And that was his whole game. Just 3 catches, 3 touchdowns, 160 yards, and just chilling on the bench the rest of the day. It was wild. But at the same time, you got to give Jerry Rice props too, man. I mean, he's right. He got the rings. The Jerry Rice benefits because, like, man, that whole West Coast offense, now we talk about all this pass, like, even the 49ers back then with the pass heavy thing that we do now, where, teams pass all the time. I mean, you don't even know who the running backs are most of the time now. But back then when the 49ers were going with that whole new offense they brung in, the West Coast offense, and Jerry Rice was the kind of, the star receiver in that. But, that was kind of revolutionary, so it was a lot of passing, a lot of short little passes. And that was perfect for him because he was fast, but he wasn't super fast. He was quick, but he was also just a really good route runner. But he wasn't like just physically imposing like Randy Moss. You know what I'm saying? So like he benefited a lot from just that system and things like that. And also I got to deduct points because at the end, Jerry Rice and the Raiders with them cornrows, that was kind of trash, man. Those he held on like 7 years too long on those cornrows, man. You got to let that go. You had the high top, and that was cool. But man, you just got to go for the baldy, man. Because those cornrows, they were hanging back. They were starting back like at the top of his head, man. And it was looking a little wild, a little nuts. I was like, this dude's like 50 years old out here playing with these cornrows in the Raiders jersey, and he's just looking nuts, man. I know you can rock with those cornrows.
Phenom, before I throw it back to you, I do want to touch on these numbers because these numbers are, of course, it make it look like Randy Moss was really dwarfed in this number. So Jerry Rice, 21 seasons, Randy Moss, 14. Man, 7 more seasons of Jerry Rice level play is a big deal.
But he had the trash cornrows the whole 7 years. Cornrows.
Hey, don't act like Randy Moss cornrows was always fresh. Like sometimes they were. And sometimes
I don't fault a man playing football with cornrows. They're never going to look good. You got helmet hair. You can't do it.
But he had a cool blowout on cornrows. But his hairline wasn't back there with George Jefferson. That was you can't have the George Jefferson hairline cornrows. That's trash.
So we got 1,500 receptions to 900 receptions. But we just talked about that. Randy Moss didn't need a bunch of receptions, and he still was blowing you up. 22, almost 23,000 yards from Jerry Rice and only 15,000 for Randy Moss. I feel like Randy Moss only played he only played 14 years. So, but I feel like he quit for about 5 of those. Like he was on the field, but he wasn't really playing.
Yo, man, I remember when I was living in Nashville, they got the Titans got him for and I was like, oh man, and it was like right after he got off the Patriots. I think he went to one other team and then came back, and it was a wrap for him. I think he played. He might have.
He didn't want to play no more.
Hey, I'll be right back, guys. Give me 1 minute.
Yeah, he didn't want to play no more. But Phenom, so what you think, man?
I think it's Rice, and I think it's easy. And I got a lot of respect for Randy Moss. I think a lot of people do look at the years and they say, well, Jerry Rice played 21 years, Moss only played 14. But part of that's because, like you kind of alluded to it, towards the end of Moss's career, he wasn't all that productive. Like he couldn't have played 21 years. Jerry Rice played 21 years because he had that ability. Like now in year 21, he wasn't what he was in year 1, but that longevity, that ability to play that long and be effective that long, like you can't discount that. You can't disregard that and say, that's the only reason. And 1,549 receptions versus 982. I don't know the percentage of that, but that's a significant percentage more receptions. The yardage, that's 7,000 more yards. Like you can't overlook that. And that's not even going into the 3 Super Bowl wins. So
man, Moss played with Dante Culpepper, and he was vulturing mad touchdowns from everybody on the team because their quarterback sneaks so much. Like that's something else you got to throw into account. And he never really had a good quarterback until Tom Brady, and you see what he did with that. Imagine if he had a quarterback that threw the ball.
I mean, Dante Culpepper was not a bad.
I'm not saying you're bum,
bro. Like he was throwing numbers. He was throwing crazy numbers. And I think the other thing about Jerry Rice that I think stands out, and I know Paul talked about the West Coast offense, but when you look at Jerry Rice compared to his peers, like his numbers are stupid. Like compared to the next best guy, like remember when Moss came in and you had T.O. and you had like Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt and Calvin Johnson, like that was the era change where quarterbacks got to throw 50 times a game. That wasn't happening back when Jerry Rice was playing. Like they were throwing 20, 25 times in a game. So his numbers were just head and shoulders above everybody else, where Randy Moss, even though he was, one of the top guys with T.O., like he was in the pack still. And so I just don't, I think Jerry Rice has an argument to be the greatest football player of all time, not just wide receiver. And it's just that consistency, that longevity, just the stupid numbers. Like, it just is what it is. Like you say,
Randy Moss had 156 touchdowns, man, in 14 seasons.
And that's tremendous.
That's crazy.
I'm not saying Moss wasn't excellent, elite level wide receiver. He's just not Jerry Rice. Like, people think if I say LeBron James ain't Michael Jordan, you dissing LeBron James. No. LeBron is great. LeBron does all this. He's just not Michael Jordan. Same in this situation. Randy Moss is excellent, but he's not Jerry. Jerry Rice is just a different level. And maybe if Moss would have played hard for all those years, like playing hard is a trait. Like,
it
that's
matters, right?
You know,
it's really what's separating me just saying Jerry Rice, because I don't want to give Randy Moss number one spot and he didn't play hard.
Yeah, that's an attribute, man. If you're a coach in any sport, like, you want somebody that's gonna play hard. Yeah, if you got somebody that just get you buckets, just a walking bucket, even though they may not try hard, you'll take them because you want buckets. But like, working hard is a skill. And so you can't discount that. So I think Rice, I like the Rice kind of kickback. He put some stuff out on social media and deleted it. I hate when people delete it. Just stand on it.
Yeah, because everybody saw it anyway and everybody screenshotted it. So just leave it.
But I like that he kind of stood up for himself and was like, listen, young boy, like, you did your thing, but I'm the GOAT. So.
I don't think he had to say nothing. I think the numbers speak for himself. Like, if you Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you ain't got to come out and say nothing. If you Jerry Rice, you ain't got to say nothing when you smashing everybody in every statistical category. So I wouldn't even have said that if I was him. If I'm starting a Madden squad right now, we're doing a fantasy Madden squad. Randy Moss is number one.
Well, and one other thing,
I'm taking him over Jerry Rice on Madden.
Well, Paul talked about like Jerry Rice not being that fast, and I think he ran like a 4.7 or 4.8. I think it was a 4.8. His 40 time was a 4.8. You ran a 4.8 and you smoking all
was in 1982
with a 4.8, bro. Like, that's crazy to me. So yeah, I got Rice. Moss is up there.
Where's Antonio Bryant? Where's Antonio Bryant? Gotta have Antonio Bryant. Dude was killing for many a years. Where's Rod Smith? Shout out to Rod Smith.
I mean, Megatron, man. If that dude would have had a decent back, Megatron, he was up there, man. He was
just light Randy Moss though. That's the crazy part.
I don't think so.
One day I'm gonna have to sit and look at the numbers. Yeah, one day I'm gonna have to sit and look at numbers for wide receivers because I've never done that. Probably should have done it for this story. Would have been a good thing to do. But, hey,
so
I don't prepare for this
let us
podcast.
know who y'all think. If y'all are into this whole GOAT battle, let us know who you got. You got Randy Moss, you got T.O., or you got Jerry Rice.
All right.
So are we doing? I guess we're skipping this.
Man, we're gonna end this. Box Wine ain't here, so we're not doing it because I don't want to have to stumble through this and look unprofessional.
Right.
So just end it.
So we'll talk about Box Wine Poppy's OnlyFans topic maybe next week. But again, if you want to hit us up, if you want to let us know which wide receiver you think is best, if you want to hit us up with your OnlyFans, if you want to promote on the Black Delegates podcast, you want us to promote your OnlyFans page, we're down to do that as long as we get that cheddar. But you can hit us up, can email us at the blackdelegatespod@gmail.com. You can hit us up on Facebook. We are on Twitter and Instagram at Black Delegates _ between Black Delegates. If you want to harass Box Wine Poppy about not making it through the show, you can hit him up. He is on Twitter at Box Wine Poppy. The Black Ryan is on Twitter and Instagram at The Black Ryan. And I am on Instagram and Twitter at Ghetto Phenom. Ryan, if people want to help out the show, if they want to help us grow, what can they do?
Well, first of all, the best thing you can do is always to tell a friend. Tell somebody you like it. Tell somebody to check it out. Recommend it. Talk about things with them that you heard on the podcast. And that's the best way for us to grow. Of course, I would like y'all to start writing into the pod. Just hit us up on the email. Just say what you thought about the show. Tell us what you good, bad, or indifferent. If you don't like Box Wine Poppy on the show, tell us. If you don't like me on the show, tell me. I'll quit. No, I won't. But I'll still listen to y'all and see what we got to say. So I just want some constructive criticism, if anything. So that's about it.
Yeah, got to get that feedback. Box Wine Poppy throwing in the group chat Jerry Rice's struggle hairline, but my man was getting behind the defense just like that hairline was getting behind his forehead, bro.
Yes, it was.
It was.
Man, his forehead got about 196 touchdowns. That bug is running a prevent.
Hilarious. So,
all right.
Any last wise words?
Yes, I'm going to give the wise words of my man, because I want to say this every day, Tom Cruise, and I'm going to leave y'all with it.
You're back there in Hollywood making movies right now because of us. Because they believe in us and what we're doing. I'm on the phone with every studio at night.
Every studio.
Insurance companies. Producers. And they're looking at us and using us to make their movies. We are creating.
That's what I was telling you, Phenom. I was telling you, they looking at us. We the only podcast out here podding.
Right.
We podding through COVID. We wearing our masks while we podding. That's how serious we are. Not the rest of y'all. So y'all can keep food on your table.
Taking holiday breaks. Everybody taking off for the holidays. Now we working through the holidays. Hardest working podcast.
I was just gonna ask, could we take 2 weeks off? What kind of mess is this? Man, I'm gonna quit for 2 weeks and come back. All right, man. That's it. See y'all next week. Yep.
I do it myself.
You do that.
Not gonna put food on their table or pay for their college education. That's what I sleep with every night. The future of the industry. So I'm sorry, I'm beyond your apologies. I have told you, and now I want it. And if you don't do it, you're out. We are not shutting this movie down. Is it understood? If I see it again, you're gone. And so are you. So you're going to cost him his job. When I see it on the set, you're gone. And you're gone. That's it.